Welcome everyone to our first Selenium tutorial. In today's video, we will go over on how to write our first Selenium script to launch Chrome browser and navigate to any application. Before, let's take a look over a few points on what is Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver is an automation tool that is used for web application automation. So it means any application that is accessible over www can be automated using Selenium. Also, Selenium is an open source tool. What do we mean by the open source? It means it's free of use. Now, there's many other popular tools on the market that can be used for web automation. There's a Catalan Studio, there's a Cypress, there's a Protractor, there's a QTP. However, Selenium WebDriver is one of the most popular tools. Now, let's take a look why. Here we list out few advantages of the Selenium WebDriver. Number one, Selenium WebDriver supports many browsers such as Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer, Safari, Edge, and Opera. Second point, Selenium WebDriver supports different programming languages. You can write your scripts using Java, C#, JavaScript, PHP, Python, Ruby, and many other languages. And another very important point, Selenium WebDriver is platform independent. It means our code can be used on different operating systems like Microsoft Windows, macOS, and Linux. Before we're going to proceed on writing our first Selenium script, I hope you guys install the Selenium and I hope you download respective drivers. Let me switch over to my Eclipse. So for these tutorials, what I created one project and I named it as a Selenium Basics. Inside this project, you guys will see 4 different things. So the first thing, what we'll be doing, we will be using our Java as a programming language to write our automation code. And in these tutorials, I'm using Java 1.8 version. Also in here, you guys will see our SRC folder, which stands for the source folders. Us as a programmers, what we will be writing our source code, which will go inside this folder. Now in here, what you guys see, you also will see reference library. So here, any Selenium code that is being written is being packaged and it's being placed inside these jar files, and now all these jar files, they are stored under our reference library. And another folder that we guys have is drivers. If I'm going to expand it, here I'm going to see my Chrome driver and I'm going to see my Gecko driver. For our tutorials, we will be performing automation on Chrome browser and on our Firefox browser respectively. So let's start this. So the first thing what I'm gonna do, we're gonna try to keep our code organized. We're gonna create different packages to store our code. What are the packages? Packages simply just folders. Why do we need them? We need them to organize our code. So I'm gonna do right click, I'm gonna click on new, and I'm gonna select package. So the universal way of naming the packages, we will be using reverse way of the URL. If you have google.com, the name of your package will be com.google. If you have syntax.com, the reverse way will be com.syntax. So this is how I'm going to name my package. So I'm going to name it com.syntax dot, and now the name of my folder, I'm going to name it as an intro. And I'm going to click on finish. Now inside this packages, what we'll be storing, we will be storing our Java classes. So I'm going to do right click, new, and I'm going to create a class. So the classes in Java, the naming convention for Java always should be classes. The name of the classes always should start with the uppercase, and then every other word will be following the camel casing. Why we will be using the camel casing? To improve the readability. So I'm gonna give it a name, Chrome browser demo, and I'm gonna select my main method, and I'm gonna click on finish. Now the goal of this class that we created, so what we would like to do, we would like to launch our Chrome browser and we would like to navigate to our syntax page. In order for me to perform this task, first I will have to follow three steps. So the step number one, what I will need to do, I will have to set a system property. I will have to set a system property in which I will be specifying key and the value. So first I'm gonna type system. So what is a system? System is our class. From this class, what I'm gonna call my method set property. And to set our property, make sure you guys select in set property, not properties. So in here, what I will have to pass, I will have to pass two string arguments. I will have to pass the key and I will have to pass the value. So the way our Selenium works, let me see if I have this in the slides. So the way our Selenium works, so first what we will be doing, we will be writing our code using any of these programming languages. And as I mentioned in our tutorials, what we're using Java language. Then we will be writing our code using Java language. Then using this code, we will be sending command to our drivers. And respective driver will be sending command to its own browser. So now if we will have to write, if we want to launch our Chrome browser, so what we will have to do, we will have to set the properties of our Chrome driver. So the first line, what I'm gonna specify is my key, and make sure you guys type it exactly as it is. I'm gonna specify that I will be using WebDriver, and then of the WebDriver I will have to use Chrome driver. So here I'm specifying that I would like to use my Chrome driver for communication with my Chrome browser. Now as a value, what we will have to pass, we will have to specify the location of our Chrome driver. We will have to specify the path to where our Chrome driver file is located. To find the location, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come inside my drivers folder, I'm gonna select my Chrome driver, and I'm gonna do the right click. Once I do the right click, here's a different options will come to me, and what I'm gonna select properties. Once I select the properties in here, you guys will see location. Location, here what we seen the path to my file. Which file? Chrome driver. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select this and I'm gonna copy this. Now you guys can click on cancel. And what I'm gonna place it, I'm gonna place it inside the string. And what I will have to do, I will have to end my statement in Java. So in here what we created, first to launch my browser to launch my Chrome browser and navigate to the specific website, I have to follow steps. Step number one, I will have to set up my property. So what I'm setting up, I'm telling that I will be needing to use Chrome driver. Now in order for me to use the Chrome driver, what I will have to do, I am specifying the path to my driver. So my driver is located inside users folder. It's located inside syntax folder on my desktop, inside desktop I have this folder, and here many different folders I have, and inside my drivers, which is name of my folder, what I have Chrome driver. So now guys, please keep an eye that I'm using my Mac. So in Mac, if you're using the Mac system, you don't have to specify anything at the end of your Chrome driver. So let me make a note in here. Use this path for Chrome for Mac, right? For Mac. Now, if you're a Windows user, the only thing what you will need to change, use this for Windows. The only thing what you will need to change, you guys will have exact the same line. I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna place it in here. The only differences you guys will change, you will change in here, you're gonna add .exe. This is extension of your file when you're using your Windows system. I'm gonna keep it in here so you guys can refer to it. Also, if you're using Windows, once you place the path for your file, you guys might either have your not forward slashes, maybe you're gonna have a back slashes. So if you're gonna change your slashes to single forward slashes, and you will add .exe extension at the end, your code will work fine. Okay, so this is the first step. Now the second step, what we will have to do, we will have to create the object of the WebDriver type. So now if we're gonna look at the architecture of our Selenium WebDriver, our WebDriver is being an interface, and we know that we cannot create the object of the interface directly. So how we can create the object of the interface, how we can create the object of the WebDriver type, what we're gonna do, we will create the object of the child class and give it a reference to our parent. So our Chrome driver is a class. If we are a class, we can create the object. So to create the object, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use a new keyword and Chrome driver, and we don't have to pass anything to our constructor. Now compiler gonna give you the arrow. So now what we will have to do, Chrome driver is a class that comes from different package, and we will have to import it. Once you import it, now who will be taking the reference of this object, we're gonna assign it to the variable driver. And this variable driver is of which type? This variable will be of the WebDriver type. This is our second step, and now what we will have to do, we will have to import our WebDriver as well. So now both our WebDriver and the Chrome, they're coming from our Selenium library. Now this is our second step. What we created, we create an object of WebDriver type. WebDriver type. Now finally we are coming to our third step, and our third step, now using the reference variable that is referring to our Chrome driver, what we can do, now we can navigate to any application. 3, what we're gonna specify, navigate to, and for our learning purposes, we're just gonna navigate to our syntax application. So now we're gonna take a variable that is referring to the object of the Chrome driver. I'm gonna say driver, and I'm gonna call the method get. Now anytime you want to navigate to any website, we will be using the method get. This method get is defined inside your Chrome driver class, and if we want to use the method get, what we will have to pass, we will have to pass one string argument. So in here, what type of argument we're gonna place, now what we will have to type, we will have to type the address of our application. What is the address of our application? Is http https :/syntax text.com. So this is our 3 steps that we need to launch our Chrome browser and navigate to our syntax application. Now let's run it and let's see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna do right click, run as Java application. So in here what we see, our Chrome browser is opened, and once our Chrome browser is open, where we navigated to the specified application. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.